Hi, I'm Laura. I'm Julie's sister. I'm also the donor for her bone marrow transplant. This is my daughter Lucy. She is 8 weeks old this week, and we just wanted to share a little bit of the experience of what it's like if you're a donor in a transplant. They only really need the donor to be there a few days prior, and that's so that you can get a shot called the growth factor. And that makes it so that you're able to produce extra stem cells so that when they go to extract them, it's easier for them to do it. Julie's process was not the older version of how they do it through the hip. It was done, I forget the word, how to pronounce it, but through apheresis, where they do it similar to the way they would collect platelets if you were donating them. So you just sit in a chair like you would if you were going to donate blood or platelets, and they take the blood and stem cells out of the veins in one arm, and then they filter back the blood to the other arm so that they're just extracting the stem cells. So it's not a painful procedure. You just kind of lay there and wait for it to be done. They gave me some light anesthetic through an IV, so I was pretty asleep for most of it, and that was just to kind of relax you. I think the only really uncomfortable part was the growth factor shots have different effects on each person, and for me it gave me a really bad headache and made me nauseous, but it was worth it to have those side effects for a few days for the overall outcome. They jokingly, or I jokingly, referred to myself as the gift of life, because something our family has always used to get through anything has been humor, and so we kind of always joke with Julie that I'm her reason for living, or her gift of life. For her first Christmas after the transplant, I gave her a picture that my brother helped me edit of me on probably the day I felt the worst. It was the day of the transplant, and I wasn't feeling good because of the growth factor shots, and I had just thrown up, and so we kind of took a picture to tease Julie, and I pretended I was throwing up in the photo, and Ronnie edited it so that there was a Santa cap on my head, and we gave that to Julie as her Christmas present for the first year post-transplant. That's how my family rolls. If you're considering becoming a donor for somebody else for a transplant, whether it's a family friend or even if you're generous enough to donate to a stranger, I can tell you from experience it's not that bad of a process, and if you just commit to the fact that you might have a few days of not feeling good, nothing worse than a bad flu, I would do it again. In fact, I would do it again if I was able to be somebody else's match, looking at what it gave Julie. It's worth it. So if you're ever considering giving somebody the gift of life, I would do it.